Hey everyone, Mherex After Dark here, bringing you another video. This one's going to be on boss battle, the boss battle prep video. I'm going to start off with a few things, and more like trying to help you guys figure out how to set up for boss, because boss is really individual to the faction, and beyond that, also to the group of people you run boss with. So first we're going to take a look at his abilities. I'm going to kind of talk about what I think that actually means, and we'll go from there. So 800% yellow gem damage sounds fancy. That means 8 times more. So if your yellow gem base is 20,000, it's going to hit for 160,000. We have had much bigger buffs than this on gems in the past. Don't fall in love with this buff. Yellow gems are a trap, as far as from a damage standpoint, my opinion, mostly. Multiply gems times 14. Okay, that's pretty solid. What does that really mean overall, though? I'm going to tell you right now, the way bosses have gone, I fully expect 800 million to a billion health, somewhere in there. 800 million to a billion health. So unless you're doing like 200 million plus damage, it's really not worth talking about. Because it simply doesn't put that big of a dent in the boss, right? Turn 1 wins are limited very much so to a few factions. And even within those factions, a lot of the teams that are set up to carry and can do turn 1 wins, the whole faction can't. So really, this video is not for those of you that can do that. You guys know what you're going to do if you're going to turn 1 it. You know you're going to take a couple Showboat Nakamura's in, maybe a Hall of Fame Macho, maybe win on turn 2 in some cases with a big boom from KO potentially. Yeah, 945 million health. 950 million health sounds right to me, Evo. I think I'd agree with that. That would be my guess. So this video probably isn't for you. This is for all the other factions, all the other people, on how to beat the boss. So you can't do damage if you're dead. That's the really simple starting point. If you die, you're doing 0 damage. You can't win. If you can't take the boss's shield down, you can't deal damage to him. You can't win. So the two most important things, assuming you can't win turn 1, are keeping your team alive and taking the shield down. If you can't do those two things, you can't win. Unless you're winning on turn 1, which is we're no longer discussing. Turn 1, like I said, probably a couple Nakamura's, Hall of Fame Macho Man, maybe a few other things. But that's about it for super high damage. My rocker, he's maybe can hit for 100 million if I'm lucky, probably closer to 90 million. Mutant Roman's probably in that same area. You could probably get Powerhouse Ray up to like 90 million. Zombie Dom maybe could get into the 60s. Possibly like an Acro Orton could get up in that kind of territory where he's making a lot of multiplies in blues and maybe buffing it. But as far as like the 200 million range plus, I think it's really just Shinsuke and Hall of Fame Macho Man. I don't have either of those, so a lot of people don't. So really, how are you going to beat this boss? Well, first thing, if you leave reinforced gems on the board, you're probably killing your team. So don't leave reinforced gems on the board. That means everyone that's so excited to use Zombie Lashley and keeps asking me about Zombie Lashley, how great he's going to be, don't leave reinforced gems on the board. If you do, you're going to kill your team. So keep that in mind. He's going to hit for 7.5 million if you leave a reinforced gem on the board. The shield is 120 yellow gems. Neutralize does not work. You can only beat the shield by breaking 120 yellow gems. That's going to happen on the boss's first turn. So your second turn going into it, the shield will be there. Your third turn going into it, your moves are going to cost 10 additional MP. This is at the max level. This move is kind of inconsequential. Turn any 7 yellow gems into immobile gems. Just means you're not going to be able to swipe yellow matches that are on there if they're immobile. Really not too big a deal. So there's that. The boss doesn't make his own reinforce. He makes immobiles. So you don't have to worry about the boss making them. Unless I'm missing it somewhere. I don't see where he makes reinforce. It's just if you leave them. Pretty sure. Yeah, it's fine. I did it earlier too. That's why I know. I legitimately did it earlier too when I was talking about this. All right. So what is the strategy? I think in a perfect world, like you would win with 2 max exhausts, and then people to break the shield. Like that'd probably make your life the easiest. Obviously, you can't complete all the styles that way, but like as far as how to beat it, wear it down, etc., with 2 max exhausts on your team, you take 0 damage. So you won't take any damage, so you're going to live as long as you need to. Then that gives you time to deal the damage and take the shield down. So just roughly, you can do it that way. If you have all 6 stars, you can easily use an exhaust that's maxed and a heal, because the heal will heal for enough to cover the damage you take from only having 1 exhaust, reducing it by 50%. Every few turns, you can stack this up twice and take no damage because it's on 45 seconds. So you can easily stay alive with a max exhaust and a max heal. So those are options. This brings me to who are good people for exhaust. Taker would be a good one if you have a Titan plate, and if you know how to grow your damage, which at this point I think I've explained fairly often. Not swiping, saving your damage, not giving up your stacks so you can continue growing it. He's a decent option. Somebody like Ray can consistently hit fairly hard. So if he's your max exhaust guy, try color like this. I kind of tested earlier. I hit 22 million in a stip. Your multiply gems are going to be a lot bigger. I got 2 stacks of the buff. So I start this way. This slot, of course, is Zombie Dom. So he generates more blues than the last slot. Get 2 stacks of the Juggernauts out. And then you got in boss, you'll have 25 strength, 14 multiply gems, and then you'll turn the whole board blue. So you can kind of do something with that. It's not going to be amazing, but if he's your max exhaust guy, that'll give you some extra damage there that you can be doing damage. Interesting was brought up, and apparently Evo told me a long time ago and I didn't pay attention. Trish mentioned that Hulkamania Hogan, his wild card move, counts as all colors on a shield. So I'm going to make him my second exhaust guy. I took him 6 stars, part of the Talent Up midweek event thing, and eventually he'll have max exhaust. And I would set him up to break the shield, not do damage just by using all the generate gem coaches. You can get him up to 23 wild cards. So that's a pretty good chunk of the shield. You just have the Axe Bomber ready to go on turn 2, and then drop those randoms and then hope to recycle it. In this case, you could even put some multiply gems down. You get the idea, though. That's a pretty good piece of info. HD there, who you saw earlier, is like, hey, what about Gooker? Gooker's a good shout in Chaotic for shield breaking if you don't have somebody else, because you can make 32 wild cards and have that ready to go. But you need to have the zombie coaches to do that. You can see off of these 32 wild cards. Couple really good tips that I was not thinking of previously to today. So thank you, Twitch chat, for helping me figure this out. This is a group effort. It's not all Mherex when you watch these videos. So that's a very good shout there too for breaking the shield. Now beyond that, guys, you need a strategy to get 120 yellow gems down. In a perfect world, if your Lashley has max exhaust, he would be a great guy for this. You have to worry about the reinforce. So what I would do on your first turn is I would drop the reinforced gems down, put the snowfall or the area down, and then break it for the yellows, get a little bit of damage in. And then right away, as soon as that's done, I would place this and then just wait for the second turn. So as soon as the second, that way there's no reinforced gems down. As soon as the second turn starts, You hit the corner impaler, blow up the yellow gems, then you could do the reinforce and get one more cycle in on your yellows. So that's how I would do that. I'd probably run him someone like this. Yellow gem damage with Cena is going to be clutch trainer for this boss. You should have him leveled up anyway. With a setup like this for him, he's got slow animations. Do not get stuck with those reinforced gems down. You're going to kill your team. So don't do that. You can't do damage if you're dead. You don't help anyone. So if Dusty is your max exhaust guy, he's got a sub that can choose some yellows. He's not going to be great, but it's something. Basically, guys, you need to think in the sense of this boss battle is what do they actually bring to the table? Unless they're doing hundreds of millions of damage, if they're not helping break the shield and they're not keeping you alive, they're kind of worthless. Yeah, Lashley does make multiplies, but he's not going to do enough damage for that to be useful, in my opinion. In my opinion, you're much better off focusing on breaking the shield so that you can let the people that can do more damage do the damage, if that makes sense. If you don't get the shield down, you can do 0 damage. So that's how I'm looking at it. The goal is to get the shield down and stay alive. So who else could be a decent exhaust guy maxed? What else we got in here? Andre with the drip plate, maybe do a little bit damage while exhausting. So if he's your guy and he's maxed, okay. Not going to be amazing. Davy Boy, decent exhaust guy. Yellow gems he can break. Also, you could put a drip plate on him. I don't have a drip plate, but I'm just saying. And then use black finisher. Get the yellow gems out. Connect with the drip plate. Get a little extra damage. But again, he's more focusing on the shield. Yeah, Bobby has a great gear bonus too. It's not going to make him hit hard enough to matter, but he does absolutely have it. Again, guys, there's really no point in talking about damage if you want to clear a 20, unless you're doing hundreds of millions. It's not enough, it's not useful, it's not helpful to beat it. If you want to beat 20s, you have to focus on staying alive and taking the shield down, and Bobby has super slow animations. Alright, who else that I don't have? Captain Lou should be pretty good. I don't have him, haven't played him, don't know his animations. So Captain Lou should be pretty useful though. Someone I don't have that can break a shield and do yellow gem damage both. So if you have him, you might be thinking about him. Focused. This is probably going to hurt a lot of people's feelings. But the truth of the matter is, I don't feel like most of the focus boss breakers are going to be super helpful this one. So what are you saying, Mherex? What I'm saying is, don't bring your Hall of Fame Bret Hart with Regeneration X into the lobby, because it's really not going to help, because you're not going to keep your team alive, and you're really not going to help with damage at all. And you're not going to take the shield down. You'd be much better off, for example, if your team has double exhaust and you're not taking damage, bringing in somebody that can make yellow gems, a Mherex, heck, a Showboat Ray who can make a bunch of yellows. I would even take a 5-star gold Otis with a heavy machinery plate, spamming this move over and over, because he would help break the shield and do something useful for my team. Keep in mind, though, if you're taking a 5-star gold, you need to survive the first hit, and you need to have double exhaust. And for that, you're going to want double vitality on these guys and max level. So don't go in with your unleveled 5-star gold with no vitality thinking you're going to help your team. Max their levels, get the HP, equip double vitality, make sure you don't die, your damage doesn't matter, you're there to help take the shield down. Okay? The goal is to not be carried. If you have a Santa Hogan with enough hit points to survive, absolutely rock this move over and over. You can help break the shield. NWO Hogan, I think he does make wilds too. That's a really good shout. Let's see. Most Hogans make wilds, I think. 9 3x3 random area. So that's a potential too for shields. If you have your Hollywood 6-star, maybe that's at least 9 that are going to count. Good shout, Evo. Let's see as we go through here. Who else can do a bunch of... Yeah, not a ton, but it's better than nothing. It's certainly better than bringing Brett, right? In my opinion. So who do I not have that can do yellows? Doesn't I think Invis Cena does yellows. Obviously Shinsuke is the baller. And then Zombie HBK would be a great shield guy if you have him and don't have Shinsuke. Shinsuke's your big damage guy. Zombie HBK would be great for shield. Like, he would get an A+ on the shield probably. Into chaotic here. I have a 6-star Seth. This is who I plan on running. This is how I plan on running him. Right here with a Titan plate, he can grow his gem damage, he can help with the shield. I ideally will want this move loaded starting turn 2, so I'm ready to help spam take the shield down. Should be easy to recycle with this many yellow gems and the move charge. If you're wondering who the open slot is for me, it would be Acro Dom. KO. On turn 2 and 3, KO should be really good damage. However, that means you need to get the shield down for KO to be really good damage. Because turn 1, he won't be really good damage almost all the time, because he's really random. I'm not a great KO user. This is likely how I would set mine up. Boss plate, although you could just as easily use Titan, because keep in mind, Titan will work in boss battle on the sub. It doesn't work in regular modes, it does work in boss battle, but only if you get enough of them to stay, which you won't always do. I would run mine personally with Hollywood here, and this would be like Anderson for me for max trap gems. The yellow move is what helps your damage, so I always want to get as many yellow trap gems out and recycle the yellow as much. So I probably would run Hollywood here, but a lot of people don't have it. So run this setup, and then like Acro Steamboat if you have him. I don't have Acro Steamboat. That's what I would do with KO. I'm not the best KO player, but you could also use a Titan plate. But I think with this boss, with yellow gems, he's going to need to help taking the shield down while he's setting up for himself. This will keep yellow charging the cannonball, so you can keep getting the buff gem on the board, which is what you really, really want with KO. That's where his damage comes from. So that's how I would run KO. Warrior with the braid plate is not going to be amazing or anything, so I wouldn't probably bring him at all. Otis, if you got him at 6-star with a Titan plate and can grow your damage, okay, that's a good shout. Realistically, you're either making yellow gems to break the shield like Gooker is, or you can't really talk about it as being super useful. Edge at 6-star, I hear him, people are like, oh, Edge is going to do crazy damage. Probably not, 20 to 30 million. So really he's there for his shield breaking. So what I would do is have, at the end of the turn, focus on having your countdowns out and your spear loaded. So at the start of turn 2, you drop your spear, make the board yellow, blow up like at the very start of turn 2, and then recycle, hit it again, and hopefully by then the shield's down with the rest of your team and you hitting 2 cycles of that. That's how I would run Edge. Again, you could get away with him at 5-star gold if you have 2 exhausts, if you run double vitality. You could probably get away with him at 5-star gold, but that's specific to your team. So if you're trying to do it with a healer, keep in mind he's going to need to be 5 or 6-star bronze to survive, or it's going to mess stuff up. Randy Orton, RK Bro, as much as I'd love to say he'll be good, he's not going to do enough damage to matter. And he's not breaking a lot of yellow gems over the course of 3 moves, so I would avoid, if at all possible. Hard to imagine he's your best yellow gem maker, but if he is, there you have it. Veer is going to be really good in breaking the shield, not damage-wise, but breaking the shield. He can turn all of his cross breaks yellow, so that's a bunch of yellow gems, so decent shield breaker as well. Hall of Fame Macho is going to be clutch on damage and breaking the shield. Excellent choice. I think he'll be the most consistent performer in boss battle, but Shinsuke is going to hit the hardest. So he's certainly a great option if you have him. Shield breaker, Hall of Fame HBK can make a lot of yellow gems. He would be really good. Zombie Orton, potentially with the multiply gems and the buff, could hit hard. Like I said, I don't know that it'll be hard enough. You want to test him, feel free. Because I think he could potentially have decent damage. I just don't think it'll be anywhere near enough based on the health pool. So, too defensive. If you're going to do this, You're going to probably need a max healer, so I'm locked into Gable for right now. I will run him this way. Not going to break a ton of yellow gems. However, I can get the board set up with choosing yellow gems and not making matches, and then have this loaded. So the start of turn 2, I can probably break at least 20 yellow gems, like right out the gate, maybe more. So it's playing smart, setting up for that shield, using guys that can make yellow gems if you have them. So he would be fine. Sami Zayn, if he's your 6-star healer, run him with this move set. You know, the leech gems, you can make some yellows. He could be an okay shield breaker in the defensive slot as long as you have your healing max. Keep in mind, all this stuff needs your boss breaker maxed. So these are just decent people. Cesaro can make some yellows. He would be, if you have his healing max, that would be decent. Dom can do okay damage. Not going to help with the shield though. K-Quick can make some yellows, not a lot. Zombie Mankind can do like 14 yellows. It's something, he can make some multiply gems, but he's not going to be great. Cesaro, like I said, some yellows. Healing has some decent options for assisting, so hopefully one of your healers, you got that going on. The best one, though, is probably going to be Hall of Fame HBK, or not, I'm sorry, Hall of Fame Triple H as far as the shield and yellows. But he does make reinforces, so be careful with that. Don't leave them on the board. We kind of already talked about this, but this move set where he makes the reinforce, and he you can see mine isn't leveled, and he changes them yellow. Just be careful not to leave reinforces and kill your team. Very important. But they're low charge, which is always welcome in boss battle. So he should be quite good as a shield breaker too. So I'm just gonna recap really quick, guys. If you can turn 1, great. However, that's very few of you. So in my opinion, if you want to have a successful boss battle, focus on staying alive, which is 2 max exhausts, or a max exhaust and a max heal in all 6 stars, and breaking the shield. Yeah, have damage dealers if you can, people that can grow the damage with exhaust. Zombie Lashley will be a great shield breaker with exhaust combo if you have him. I would be fine to have a max exhaust Zombie Lashley on my team. Edge can break the shield pretty good. HBK, Cena, Mherex, these are guys that can help with the shield. But the important thing is when you're coming in with your not like top end guys, please bring something to the table. Have your board set up. Don't just sit there saying I'm just healing or I'm just exhausting, so I don't need to do anything. Have your board set up with a bunch of yellows, have your choose ready to go, and then have Gable choose a bunch right out the gate. Getting this shield down on turn 2 is going to be huge, because you don't want to have to start dealing with all of this MP and potentially losing buff stacks, and then it gets into taking longer and longer and longer. So do what you can to get the shield down ASAP, because this is the turn when your moves aren't heavy charge and you can do extra damage. So the faster you get that down, the better. So yes, you're just exhausting, no cap. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, bring somebody that can do something. Don't bring your Brett that can't do anything. I'm just telling you right now, don't do it. Come up with a better solution that can help your team, or don't expect to get a 20 done with Brett. Don't be the guy that sits there, carry me with my not good character, because put some effort into it, level someone up to gold, max them. If you have a group of 4 people, you guaranteed they should be able to have exhaust by now if they're buying the currency daily from the shop. So find some friends, get exhaust leveled, get heal leveled. You can cover all of your stuff, work together, get it done, and then help your team. So if for some reason on this earth you decided to take IOW Batista to 6-star and you have him 6-star, you could, and you decided to put all of your exhaust currency in him, and he has a max exhaust, you could bring him to add some yellow to the shield. He will never be good on anything other than yellow probably, so I wouldn't recommend taking him up. But if for some reason you have, and then you double down and put all of your exhaust currency into him, absolutely that would be viable for this particular boss. That's what I think I got for the boss battle. Don't fall in love with these bonuses. The best guys, in my opinion, are going to be Shinsuke, Hall of Fame Macho, and KO after turn 1. There's maybe some outliers in there. Best shield breaker is probably going to be like Mherex, Cena, Zombie Edge, Hall of Fame HBK, Zombie HBK, Zombie Ray. If you have, so again, let me repeat, 5-star gold, only viable if you have 2 maxed exhausts on your team and you're running him full vitality. If he's your max exhaust guy, I would recommend taking him to 6-star sooner rather than later, like next talent up. However, if you have 2 exhausts on your team, you're good, but don't join a lobby randomly with any 5-star gold character unless you want to make life miserable for your faction mates. So that 5-star gold should only be used with a static team that's prepared for it. On 20s. That's just the way 20s are, and usually 17 is almost as hard as 20. That's typically where the cutoff is. So if you don't have 6 stars, I would plan on 16s, unless you have really good a group around you that can help you through it with 2 max exhausts. So yes, the disrespect to Slick Rick, I'm not mentioning him, correct. So that's what I got for this boss battle video. Hopefully you guys find this helpful. Try and start thinking about boss battle more the big picture than one turn or carry me, because most of you, including myself, aren't going to win one turn and can't just simply be carried. You have to contribute, you have to be useful, and you have to think. That's just the reality of boss battle for most people. So remember to like, subscribe, and share, and good luck out there, guys. Also, I'll be streaming boss battle probably live on Twitch tomorrow, unless it's so laggy that I mess my team up, but I'll at least be trying it first. So thanks for watching, guys. Good luck out there.